You store the values in cells. Store your values in cells, and then you reference them. That is where reference mode comes from. You reference the cell. And we said we have three types: the relative, the absolute, and the mix. And we took time to see how these things work practically, applying them to all our tasks. And I'm glad that the madam that spoke mentioned absolute reference, and she found it interesting that the VLOOKUP also, you have to lock your range so that all your answer will relate to it. And those who forget to do that usually have the one of the reasons why they get NA, especially for those who are using VLOOKUP, who have been using it before, and they find this type of errors, and it looks frustrating. One time it looks as if you escape, another time it looks as if you are not lucky, and you don't understand why. So I try to show us that the reason is because of the absolute reference. So once your reference is properly identified and then turned to absolute, you won't get error message in VLOOKUP or any other. Okay, so we also understood that we have another mode that is called name. And so what I also intend to do before we go into what we have today is to use this name mode to do some VLOOKUP stuff, and then possibly some SUMIF stuff. And then we will have some exercises together also in the class, so that you can also appreciate how the using name to work. And it's your choice. Now you may not decide, bye-bye to absolute reference. I will use name. Okay, so, and there's no, you don't have any challenge or wrong effects coming from it, or any kind of problem because you use name. Name is perfect. Use it, you have access to it, you can always manage it. So I'm going to take time to address that. Then so that's for name and what we did then. So the referencing and the mix and all those things. So we had an example that we used for the mixed reference, and the file was shared with us, and we also saw how we can lock either only the row or the column. The situation whereby you are dragging your formula so the right, and it must maintain what you have on the left. And I'm also quite glad that somebody pointed out during the feedback that we had this morning that VLOOKUP looks to the leftmost value. So that's a very good one. That's a very good one. We did data validation, so we saw how we could validate and create lists, length, restrict some kind of values, and then the dates that we want. Then we went into conditional formatting. Very beautiful one. We saw how we could use icons, how we can highlight cells based on certain conditions, pick out what we really want to see, and use the conditional formatting to reveal them. So we went into HLOOKUP, and we also discussed that HLOOKUP is for horizontal data. Okay, so any kind of data that is positioned horizontally will So any data that is positioned horizontally will always require the use of VLOOKUP. Okay, so I can see the chart. Tochukwu Samuel is noted. Noted. Now, VLOOKUP is for horizontal data, and don't forget it's for the leftmost. So whatever you are using as your lookup value is the leftmost value. Okay, and we also picked an example and we used other examples for the VLOOKUP, and it's part of the file that I shared yesterday. So for the name, we are now going to use name. So what you do for me is you make a copy of the pivot table data. Make a copy of the pivot table data. Put it in another worksheet. Can be your work file, your working file. So just to have. Okay, so something like this. So I just want to use this to apply working with names in Excel. And what we are trying to do, so anything I'm doing here is what I've done before. So don't drag me back to go and start teaching again. I'm just trying to apply name. So what I'm teaching is name. Names. So I'm trying to remove duplicates. I've done that before. So I took all my data, I copied it out, and then remove duplicates so that I can use it to do my calculation. So, but what I'm trying to do is sum if, okay? Sum if is what I'm trying to do. But I'm trying to use names, working with names, how to use names to now do your calculation instead of absolute reference or reference. Instead of reference, use names. So I want to say total sales. So how do we do that? So please take note. I'm working with names. Since our sum if, so I'm just quickly going to type sum if first for us to know where we are going. Since our sum if requires from us criteria range and sum range, those two are the range that we are working with. The criteria range, the criteria is a single value. It's just the product that you are the product name that you have as criteria. So that's the criteria itself. But the range and the sum range are both range. So you have the range, which is product. So what you need to do is just pick the value. Before you start using your formula, you pick the value. You highlight everything. That means you select your range. So that's my range. That's before you type the formula at all. You must have prepared your worksheets to have names. And once they are named, you can do anything you want to do with them. So I'm going to name range B2 down to B214. I'm going to name it. So this on the left side where we have name box, that is after the left side to the formula bar where we have B2 here. I'll click on this and I will type products. Products can be in lowercase if you don't mind. So that can just easily identify your name. So it can be uppercase, can be lowercase, but I always prefer it in lowercase. Just create your names. Okay. So after typing products, I'll press enter. So that means I have named B2 to B214. I've named all that range as products. Then the next one that I want to name is amount. So I will select the first, which is D2. I will select, then I'll do Control Shift and down cursor key to select all the column, because it is the entire column I want to name, excluding the header. So then I will go to the name box, and then I'll give this one the name amount and press enter. Then if I want to go further, I can name this as country also. Select everything, which is the F column, but your selection should exclude the header. Exclude the header. And then come to the name box, and I'll name that country and press enter. So don't forget to press enter. So now I have, if I drop down the cursor key beside it, I have 3 names already created. So I have amount. This Abuja and Lagos are the ones that we did the first day when I was working. I named some cells when I was explaining the name. So, but these are the things I just created: amount, country, and products. So I can use them anywhere in the workbook, anywhere in the workbook. So and that's another advantage, the fact that it's available for use anywhere within the workbook. Okay. So now I want to use it in formula. So I want to use them. So I will say equals sum if. Then my range, I don't have to go and do selection again. I will just type products, comma. Then I will select the relative reference, which is the criteria, and that is carrots here, the carrots here. Then I'll put comma. Then since I'm working on column D and I've named it as amount, I'll just type amount. So the way you will know that it worked is that the name must be color coded. If it is showing only black, then it's not working. If yours is showing black, that means that name, you just created it without selecting or anything, or the name is not existing. Okay, so take note. So I can see products in blue. I can see my criteria in red. I can see the amount in something like purple. So if I press enter, I get my answer. So now, no need of anything absolute or whatever. I will just copy my formula down, and I get my answer. So, and if I'm trying to also create for country, it becomes faster also. So I can also say, okay, I want to analyze for country, just remove my duplicates. So you see that knowledge gives you power to manipulate things here and there. So for me now, analyzing data, trying to understand the data is a work of 2 minutes. I'm done. It's not 1 hour or anything. I'll just I will just get information from my data like that without even without any form of time wastage. So the more you work on it, the better you become, and then you understand all the necessary tools. that you can use. So, so for the country, I'll say, okay, total sales by country. So I can also come and say sum if, I'll say sum if my range is country now, and my criteria is United States from here. So not the United States in the main table, but the one from the criteria that you have created. The sum range is amount. So what I'm highlighting is the name. I'm trying to show you how to use names. So because I have named my column, my two columns, or even the three, I named the product, I named the amount, I named country. I'm able to use it in calculation easily. So for this, I don't need absolute reference. And I can even use the name for sum. I can say equals sum. For sum, to sum all this, I can say equals sum, and then just say amount, and press enter. It will give me the total. Equals count, amount. Because amount is where I have the value. It will give me how many transactions. Equals max, amount. So you can see that I don't have to be doing selection here and there because I have named the range. Equals min. This was what we did on day one. But I'm now using the name to show you how beautiful these things can be when you name your range. So equals average amount. So I cannot say equals average product. No, product is not numbers. So I'm referencing amount because that is the range that contains the values that I can analyze. Okay, but if I want to do sum if based on criteria, why not? I can now say product, blah, blah. But for all these other ones, no, it's just amount you use. And that's why we have these results. So the total sales, the all in all total. The number, so this is analysis for you, number of transactions. This is how you understand your data. Highest sales. So when somebody is doing it, you will not think the person is doing magic. Especially when you see, if you are like me that watch American movies, and then they will now go to the computer, oh, give me those information. Ah, you see this Oyinbo. Ah, see the way, everything. Eh? We don't even have all these things here. You have them. You are the one that is not using them. Oh. All those things they are doing in their movie, you can do them. And some of those things are just mere software things. Just make some make believe are also there. So it's fine. It's fine. So you can analyze your data, understand your data better. If you like, go further and begin to create charts for these, take it further and all those stuff. And why not? Why not? So that is working with name. So I just wanted to add that to us. So that so why not? You can create names for VLOOKUP also. Just select all your range, your array. Select your array, name it, and then you use it in your VLOOKUP. So what you must do is to select your array. So if you want to do this, for instance, so instead of using this A3 to C16 in the VLOOKUP, you will name that A3 to C16 as your array data. You just give it a name. But when you give it a name, then you can now use that name here instead of so you can now use that name instead of using the reference. And the name works exactly like absolute reference. So whether you are doing relative or you are doing absolute, always names will always work for you. Okay. Any question on that? Can I have it in the chat session? Maybe Madam, maybe Eze is trying to ask question, but the sound is not okay. It's sounding like robots. You probably want to put it in the chat box, so that I can see what you're trying to say. I can get to understand what you're trying to say. So any question so far before I move on? The question is not for those who came late into the class, because if you come late into class and you are telling us to go and start from the beginning, we know that you came late. Aha.
I have a question, sir.
Okay, sir.
When you were naming the products range,
yes,
you chose cells B1 to
B2,
B4.
B2,
Sorry, B2 to B4.
B214.
Sorry,
Not
B2. I didn't get that. What did you say?
B2 to B214.
Oh, okay.
The entire range.
The entire range. Okay.
Yes. So you exclude the header. You will choose from B2 down to the last, which will be B214. So that is what you are going to name.
Yes. Thank you, sir. I just wanted to clarify that.
Good question. Okay.
Hello? Good. I have a question.
Okay.
How those named stuff, if you want to delete, like the one we did yesterday, we still have them there. If you want to
Yes.
delete them, you can delete them, Abi.
Yes. So to
Okay.
delete them,
Okay,
go
go
on.
ahead. Go ahead.
So to delete them, you will go to your tab, formulas. That is after home, insert, draw, layout, you see formulas. Then you will see name manager in the middle. So under formulas tab, you see name manager. So you click name manager. Then you see those ones. So this Abuja and Lagos, I can easily click on it and press delete. And then it goes. Then Lagos also, delete, and then it goes. So I have only 3 now.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, sir. No questions? Question? Okay, so the class is recorded, so you can always use the recorded version. For those who missed the entire session, can always use the recorded version to refer back to what you missed. Okay, beautiful. Now, let's go into something else. Working with pivot table, but I'm going to start with tables. Okay, so what I have is pivot table, fine, but I'm going to expand your knowledge to tables and pivot table. So this my work file is now valuable and you should look for it. You should ask for it. So after the class today, we'll share this file so that you can refer to everything that we've done. All right, so let me start with, so I'm going to make, so what I want you to do is to copy this data and copy it into 2 worksheets. Name one as tables, working with tables. And name the second one pivot table. The 2 of them should have the same data. So now, looking at the kind of data that we are using and we are working with, of course, I know it may not be the exact type of data that we are using, but what I want you to do is always apply the principle to your data. Just look at it. And one of the things that I mentioned earlier in the class is for you to be able to analyze with your data, do your calculations, do sum if, count if, and all those things. Your file, your worksheet must be properly prepared. No spaces in between. Not like when I get to row 10, I break it and I put another line. No. It will not treat that data as a single entity. It will treat them as different. Once there are spaces. No merge, don't merge cells. Work with raw data, not the one that have merged cells here and there. Just keep it simple, just like what you have. And then it should be some kind of, and the kind of data that you are going to analyze should be some kind of data that looks transactional in sense. It has some transactions that comes with specific dates and repetitions, maybe say sales of diesel today, diesel tomorrow, fuel today, fuel tomorrow, gas tomorrow, and all those things. And all other information, the amount. So it can't be a table with unique information. If you have a table that has unique information, that means there's nothing to analyze. For instance, if you have a table that looks like the one that the result of our sum if, this is not a table you want to analyze. This is already analyzed. This is each of them are unique. Carrot is carrot, and that's the total. Okay, but a table that comes with series of transactions that has repetitive names but with different transactions. Yes, this one can bring summary because you can summarize by product, you can summarize by country, you can summarize by date, you can summarize by category, and your basis of summary is the quantitative value, which is the amount. Okay, so this is more of a quantitative analysis. So you can do that. So that if you admire SUMIF or pivot table, and then you now pick a kind of a file, and you now say, this thing, they didn't use our data. That is why I'm not getting it. So I'm just trying to make you to understand the principle, the concept, the rules around it. So some of those things that will make it not to work should be eliminated. No space, no merge and center. No, all those things should be eliminated if you want it to work on your file. Okay. So people that handle sales, it's a good tool for them. SUMIF, count if, it's a very good tool for you. HR is a good tool for you, especially when you are trying to observe occurrence of staff, blah, blah, blah. How many times did the particular staff did this? How many times? So you have records, and your analysis is based on the records you have. So here in our country, part of the limitations that we have is that we don't collect enough data. And then we want to get information. We want to draw information, but we don't have enough data. So because we don't have enough data, we cannot take our analysis deeper. For instance, when they want to collect data from you in Nigeria, they will say your first name, your surname, your address, your age, your phone number, and probably your email, and they are done. Now, that cannot give them deeper insights into the individual they are dealing with. But when you want to take advanced data collection, it can also include some coordinates of the person's location. It can include the person's ID number. It can include several information about the individual. It can be as much as 100 different information, or even 200 if there's anything like that about the individual. Something that even if a crime is done, you can almost get that person anywhere the person gets to. You know, data that is being updated. So enough data. So even in our offices, we should have enough data for our analysis to make sense. Okay. So moving of trucks out of moving of what do you call this thing now that we use for supplying fuel? Tanker. You can there should be a record for detailed record, not just a minimal record. The specification, the driver, the time out, the time in, the location is going, what happened, the route, everything that you can get to know movements. Everything, including even active data. And when I say active data, I'm talking about some of the information that are based on live data is what I want to say. Live data, including live data. Everything you do on Facebook is data. As you go there, as you post, as you comment, everything is data. If you don't believe, ask Facebook to give you that you can download all your data into a file for the past how many years you have been on Facebook. Facebook has it. You can request it, and it will show you, or it will download into a folder, all pictures you have ever posted, all pictures you've ever received, even if you have been on Facebook for 10 years. Everything will be given to you. It may tell you that it will be ready in 2 days, in 48 hours, but they will drop it into your mail or something, or whatever you provide to receive it. I've done that several times, so I have comprehensive. So if anything even happens to my Facebook, I don't say, my Facebook is gone. All those pictures that are posted there, they are gone. Because these people have detailed data. Even your LinkedIn, you can download everything you have there. We're talking about handling data. So your analysis is based on how well your data is prepared. Okay, so if your data is not well prepared, so this is garbage in, garbage out. It's what you give that you get. Okay, so your data is not well prepared, you get a bad result. The data is well prepared, you get deeper insights. So, and that's why we kept seeing these people going ahead of us, because they take data seriously. In Nigeria now, a data analyst may be working up and down, jobless. But in UK or US or Canada, a data analyst cannot sit down and say, that person must be lazy. Cannot sit down and say, I don't have job. As a data analyst, say, I have remote jobs, even in Nigeria. You can't say that because they work with data. They work with large set of data in everything that you can imagine. The information is important to them. It's important. So they can slap you with a lot of data and ask you to analyze it as an analyst and pay you as much as £1,000 per day. Depends on the kind of job you are doing. And I'm saying as much as if you so that's what I'm saying. Go and check. It's there. We have people who earn 750, 859, and 1,000 and 1,002. That, and if you're in Nigeria here, it's a lot of money for you. So data is important. All right. So having said that, I hope we have the two worksheets, working with table, and then the second one is pivot table. So I'm going to start with the working with table. So I want to, this is, so yesterday I explained that when you are working in Excel, you have, Excel structure is based on cells. You have cell, which is a unit. Then you have range, which is collection of cells. Then you have a table, which is you now have a single unit of information, all information collected together into one, a table. Then you have a worksheet, which is a unit of a workbook. So this is the structure. This is the object structure or object hierarchy or structure that you have in Excel. Your cell, your range, your table, your worksheet. The worksheet is a page, like a page. Your workbook is your file. Okay, so you should know the difference between worksheet and then workbook. Okay, so a worksheet is just so like all that I have here are worksheets. The entire file is a workbook. Okay, so table is a collection of related records. So a range is collection of cells. So a cell is a unit of information in a worksheet. Okay, so all these things are basic information that we always get when you are just starting. Okay, so there's difference between where I'm going is that there's difference between range and table. The two of them are different. So even though they look alike, but as soon as you convert a range of data into a table, it will be treated as collection of related records. So let me show you the advantage. So the first thing you want to do is to select everything, Control A. Control A will select everything, excluding the thing I typed on the right side. So don't, if you are following me and you are typing, don't select that one. Okay, so just the range alone. Then you will now go to Insert tab. So on the Insert tab, we have table. So today we have a less number of persons in class. Why? 43. Okay, others are busy today. Maybe they're having meetings. All right. So you select then you go to Insert tab and then you click Table. So the moment you click Table, you will have a dialog box that will appear. And the dialog box is a small one. It's saying, where is the data for your table, and it's asking, but because I have done my selection, then it automatically selects for me here too. But if I have not done it, then I will have to do it manually again. Then it's asking if my table has header. Yes, it has header. The table I want to create has header. The header is the order ID, product, category, amount, date, and country. So all I need to do at this point is to click OK. So once I click OK, this will be converted to a table. Now, once it is in table format, you can do all that filter that we did. Can do it. Then, if you are adding any information to this and you have a formula, it will be automatic. Anything that is happening in the table is automatic. As soon as you add the figure, let's say this is a formula. As soon as you add a figure, here, add this. Once you get there to calculate, and it will continue. So adding becomes automatic. That is in terms of formula. Then you can also analyze the table by going to table design. So if you go to table design tab, you can say it should add a total row. It will add it at the bottom. That's the total row, automatically counted how many. Then you can also come here and choose SUM, and then it will sum for you. You will not even need to be typing sum. It will sum. You can add filter button. It comes automatically, actually. So another thing that you can
Sorry,
also...
Mr. Abraham, please do that summing again, please.
Okay. So the way you come in here, you scare me. Your voice just came in suddenly.
Sorry, I'll be here.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what you do is you go to table design. So when you go to table design, and that is, you must be within the table. You must have done the table, and then the table, so your cursor is anywhere within the table. Then a table design tab will appear. But if your cursor is not within the table, you will not have a table design option. But once your cursor is within, you have table design. Then you can now do total row. You check. Under the table design, there's an option that says total row. So once you check it, you will have total apply. So you can count, you can choose count, you can choose sum, you can even choose max to know the highest value. You can choose average to know the average of the value. You can choose to sum, or you want to do standard deviation, or you want to do variance, or you want to do sum. So all these things becomes automatic because you have
Sorry, sir, please don't be offended. I did I followed you, but I could only get 213 from country, but I didn't get the total amount.
Yes, under the amount.
Yes, I didn't get any sum. I didn't get the sum of it.
No, you see a drop arrow beside it. Drop it first and then select sum.
Okay.
So you see an arrow under that, just click on it, and then when you click, the arrow is by
Thank you. I'm okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. So the table design is when you click inside the data, the table design will show. But maybe your own, if you have a different version, it may not be named table design. Or anything that is table or something, or table option or something like that should be fine. Anything like table option, table design, based on your version, should be fine. Okay. So if you can convert to table, then you can definitely have a table option or something like table design. Okay. So that's response to Tamama's question. Okay. Now another advantage of converting to table. So this particular one, if you are using older version, you don't have it. Okay, it's slicer. So we can insert a slicer so that we can easily analyze that table. And no matter how large that table is, you can handle that table easily. You can handle the table easily. So if I put insert slicer, a dialog box shows, so I can use slicer for product and slicer for country. And then I'll click OK. So slicer is a way of filtering your data using buttons. So you are slicing it. So like for instance now, I can slice to say apple alone. And I can slice it further to say apple from Australia. So I can say I want to see banana and it's from Canada. I want to see broccoli and it's from France or from Germany or from New Zealand or from United Kingdom or from United States. So you can slice that very large data. So the slicer, so somebody is asking, how did I get the slicer? The slicer is also under the table design tool. The slicer is under the table design. So if you have selected the table tools or something, you will check on total row to be able to have this total here. And you can see that even this total is responding to your filter. So you can see banana, you can see from Canada and the total. So it helps you to break the table down. And I said, no matter how large that table is, I mean, putting the slicer side by side, you are slicing it, you are trying to understand a quick look. You can quickly look at them. So this is another way of filtering. And I enjoy this because this is more like, this tool is used for data visualization also. So we use it. So this is part of visualization, where you are trying to visualize your data from various angles and all those stuff. So, so the beautiful thing is that the slicer does not only work with a summarized data, it also works with a table, a complete table of data, provided you have converted it to a table. If you are trying to look for slicer on ordinary range, it will not work. But once you have converted it to a table, then you can apply your slicer tool. Okay, so let me take questions on that for those who are struggling with it before I move on. Questions on table and slicer? Questions? So it means it's well taken. Okay. Tamama wants a recap.
Please,
So we'll do a recap. Okay.
okay.
You want to ask your question too?
Yes, I also need a recap on that slicer, please.
Okay, beautiful. So we'll do a recap. But the recap that I'm going to do will be from the table down to the slicer. Okay. So I will remove. So I'm rolling everything back. So I will remove my slicer, click on it, press delete. Click on it, press delete. Then I want to roll the table back. So of course, Excel gives you the option to convert your table back to range. You'll also find that under table design. So this table has been converted back to range. The only thing that does not go is the formatting that has been applied to it. But you can remove your formatting. Why not? You can remove so I could also do undo, but I just want to show you how you get the table back to normal. Where is this none? That's okay. Okay. My screen is compressed, so I can't find some things. I need this is what I'm looking for. Clear formats. I don't like this. I don't like this. Okay. I just use no fill. I was trying to clear format and then it removed all the formats, including the date format and everything. Okay, so now we are back to level 1. So we are back to level 1. I'm sorry, I can't go back to working with names. I'm sorry. You use the video to watch that, and then that can be done. We have left working with names. Maybe after the class, I can just do a brief run through of what I did. But I can't go back to working with names. So sorry. So use what do you call it? Use the recording to trace that and all that we did. The recording will be for day 3, the beginning of day 3. All the details will be there. All right. The other question.
Hello, sir. Is that right?
Yes.
Please, from my own setting of Excel, I'm not seeing table design. I've searched through all the icons, so I'm trying to add, but I'm not seeing table design. I don't know.
Okay, have you applied table? Have you applied table?
Okay, no, I did not apply table.
So you won't find table design
Okay.
until you have converted to table.
Table, okay.
Barnabas, I don't know which action am I supposed to repeat? Barnabas, Evo Barnabas, which action? You said please repeat.
Is it that table you have just removed all the icons and you are about starting afresh on that table? I'm seeing this thing now, the carrot this thing.
Okay, so so what I did was that I converted it back to ring. using the table design. So I selected all the table, and then the first thing I did was to convert it back to range. Okay, convert it back to the range from the table design. Then I highlighted everything again, and then went to fill color under the font group, and I said no fill. So that's I used to remove. But if you have done your table successfully and you are good, maybe okay, good. All right. Okay. So now let me now recap on this table. The first thing I did was to select everything. Okay, so let me remove this total also. So the first thing I did was to select all the range. That is by using Control A. So I selected my range from A1 down to, what do you call it now? From A1 to to the last, the entire range anyway. Then I now went to Insert tab. Insert tab. So under Insert tab, you will see on the left side, you will see Table. Table is just beside Pivot Table. So I selected Table. Okay, Madam, noted. Madam Uche Chioma is noted. So so I hope you get so when you get the recording, you can pick everything you missed. All right, it's well noted. Now, so I selected Table, and then a small dialog box came out. It says, where is the range? The range is already automatically selected because I highlighted. Then my table has header. So all I need to do at this point is just to click OK. So when I click OK, the table has now been created. So that's why it's appearing this way. And then I said, at the bottom, I can have a total row attached to it. As it is now, there's no total row here, not yet. So you will now go to Table Design. The moment you create your table, inside the table is Table Design. Okay, you will see, once you click inside the table, you will see Table Design option. I'm not sure if you can find it on right click. No, you don't have it as a right click. But at the top, here, I can find mine here, Table Design. Okay? Find that Table Design. Okay? Then I selected Total Row. Under the Table Design, I have some options. So going to the middle, somewhere around the middle, there's an option that says Total Row. I have header row, first column, total row, last column, banded rows, banded column. So I checked total row. So all these banded column, if you want to remove all those blue things, maybe you don't find them interesting. That's when you should uncheck the banded, then it goes away. If you now want to have it based on column, then you can check banded for column. Or you don't want banded at all, then you remove. So, but the default that comes with it is actually The default is actually banded rows. So it's the same place that I checked total row. And the moment I checked it, it will add a total row at the bottom. So it is at this point where I have total on that same row 215 that I can now click, and an arrow will drop, will appear on the left side. Then I can now apply maybe sum or something or whatever I want. So that was how I added that total row. Then the last thing I now did with that was to put a slicer. And the slicer is also under the table design or table option or whatever you have in your own Excel. Okay. So you click inside the table, you select insert slicer. Any person using older version will not, the older version, no slicer. But if you have one of the recent versions like 2013 and so on, why not? You have slicer. Okay. So I clicked insert slicer. Then in this dialog, I selected product and country, and then clicked OK. So that was how I got this. And with this, I can easily slice my table to see the aspect that I want to see. Banana from Canada, broccoli from Canada, mango from Canada. It's now obvious that they only sold one mango. Orange from Canada, only three. Beans, none, no. So Canadians, they don't like beans, maybe. Carrots, no carrots. So Australia, apple, so and so on. So you can slice, and then that will help you to understand your data. So that is for table. That is for table. So I've gone through over again on it. So any other thing you need, you refer to the recording. So
Okay, sorry, Mr. Abraham. You've really nailed it. I am glad. But please, one quick question. I tried to move around my own slicer. When I clicked on Apple, the whole thing disappeared. I didn't see anything on my table again. So there must be something that I didn't do right.
okay. Apple from where?
From the slicer, I inserted the slicer.
Yeah,
I
you
have
selected-
products and the
Yes.
country.
Yes, you chose Apple from which country?
Oh, I clicked on Apple. The thing disappeared. It didn't even show me any other options.
Okay, click another one. Let's see whether it will come
Okay,
back.
let me click on banana now. Okay, banana is from United States.
So maybe
Okay, it worked, but Apple disappeared.
maybe there was a mistake in the selection, but if you click Apple again, it should show. Maybe Apple from United States, for instance.
I've clicked on Apple again. The whole table is running away. I didn't see.
From United States, or maybe you are working on, maybe you are using a data that has already been filtered before. So what you
Oh,
should
yes. Okay, you're correct. You're correct. Okay, carry on. Carry on. You're correct. Thank you.
Hello, sorry. Good morning, Mr. Brahim. Good morning. Sorry to take all everybody back, please. I was trying to
Hello,
use
Abraham.
my Excel. Hello?
The name is
Hello?
Abraham.
Okay, Brahim. Okay, sorry. Good morning. Sorry, I was trying to use my Excel, but somehow along the line, I missed out something. I how to get the table. I don't know. Did you highlight before?
Yes,
Highlight box?
you highlight all
Mm-hmm.
all the range first. Then you go
Uh-huh.
to
You
as-
highlight from the first column, the header, and
yes.
where did you get then what next, please? Sorry.
Insert tab, then table.
Insert, okay, go to insert then.
Table.
Okay, table.
So
Then
that's
okay. Then I will now okay
I
because it has taken all. Sorry.
So
Okay.
maybe,
All right, I got it. It's okay. It's okay.
so you just go to insert, you pick table.
Yes, I've done it.
So
I've done it. Thank you very much.
okay. So far we've been able to just see how we can create a table and then apply slicer to run through. So once you click inside your table, you will always find a table design option. So it is from the table design option that I applied the total row and applied the insert slicer also. So it was the insert slicer that from there I selected products and country. If you select amount, it will not make sense because amount is everything in amount is unique. Well, if you select category, why not? You can filter based on category. So I chose the product and the country. And you can also have multiple selection. Can also have multiple selection. So if you look at the top here, there are two buttons on the slicer. On the slicer now, on the slicer box itself, on the slicer box, you will see there are two buttons at the top. One is to clear your filter. So if you want to clear it and return it back to beginning, you will see that button. Then if you want to make multiple selection, you click this multiple select. So multiple selection means I can see Apple, I can see two products. Okay. So I can see apple and carrots. And I can also see carrots from, if I choose multiple, carrot from France and Australia. Or apple and banana, banana and carrots from France and Canada. So that is for the multiple select. Multiple selection. Okay. That's for the multiple selection. Okay.
So can I, if I may ask, with
Yes.
this table that we are working with currently, we can still do charts with using this particular table?
Yes, sir. Very well. So what you do is you will analyze, you will do maybe some if and counting with it. And then, but when you now start doing those things, you are going to see, it's a very good question. Very, very good question you have asked. So let me show you something. You have asked a very good question. So let me show you something. So if I say products, banana, apple, and then I now want to do a sum if. So if I put equals sum if, So my range, the moment I click here, the moment I click the table, it will show table 3, header, product, blah, blah. If I click here, fine, it will show me the cell. But if I highlight, oh, okay, let me just use Control Shift down to highlight, Control Shift down. So if I highlight the column, this is what you see. Table 3, products. Because it's now a table, it is no longer a range. So it will be referring to it as a database table. So what it means is that you can no longer treat it as ordinary Excel range. It's a table. So a table will always refer to table name and the field. Product is a field now because I'm now using database management language. In Excel, it is column and row. In database, it is a field and a record. So if you now use comma and you pick your criteria and you use comma and you pick your sum, all you just need to do is your normal selection, okay? Do your normal selection. This must exclude the total. So I can't include total in this selection. So I think I have to do this one again. Okay. So you can see table 3 amount. So with this now, I have my, so this one too does not need absolute reference or anything. Doesn't need absolute reference. So maybe it's either you use name or you convert to table or you use absolute reference. So if you convert to table, you will not even need to name your range. Once it's converted to table, you will not need naming again at all. So with this now, you can now decide to do your charts. Why not? You can do your charts comfortably, plot your charts, and your charts is there. So that is because I have only 2 observations, apple and banana. So just for an example. So it's a good question you have asked, Mr. Aki. Very good one. So it's possible. So but just to recognize that you will have some differences. You will no longer be referring, it is only you can see that it's only the cell outside, which is outside the table, but the criteria that remained as a reference. But every other thing within the table will be referred to as a table and the field name. So that is so you are learning another thing entirely inside Excel. So I've brought you into database inside Excel. Okay, so please, we have requests for some people to rename, and it's very important they do it. NA03778, rename. Let's have your full name. Okay, so it's just like you are trying to ask me a question, and I don't even know the name of the person asking me a question, but the person knows my name. Is that not Ojoro? Ojoro. And then we have NA02836. So I think the other person has done the rename. I think it's only one person we have left. Okay. Now, let's continue. So that's for table. So we move, so you can see how beautiful Excel can be working with your tools, knowledge. And if you put a chart, the chart will also respond to your slicer. That's another beautiful thing. The chart. So this is part of what we use in visualization. So when you create a dashboard and you want to visualize, you put a chart, you put a slicer, you are just moving around and everything is looking dynamic. I mean, you yourself, you will call yourself an expert. I am an expert. But people will respect you. Okay, so we go to pivot table. We go to pivot table. Okay, so what is pivot table? What is pivot table? So a pivot table in Excel is a very powerful tool and is used for creating summary. You summarize, analyze, explore, okay, and present large sets of data in a very concise and interactive way. So what pivot table does is to help you to summarize data. So you'll be able to organize the data, you'll be able to analyze it, explore, what did I say now? Also present a large data set, okay? Interactive way, concise way, and so on. So what it also does is it helps you to group your data. So like all those things that we're using SUMIF to do, we're grouping it by ourselves. The grouping was removing duplicates. I will select everything, put it on one side, remove duplicates. So that means I'm just trying to group the data. And beautiful, there's also a function. That's good. Maybe this one may not be available to all of us, but if you check it, if you have it, very well. We have a function that is now released into Excel that is called group by. Group by. So you can use the group by to get your row fits that you want to group. I've not been using this very well, but I just remembered that I found this. Maybe values. So it's a new function, but it may not be available to everybody. I'm just trying to just put a small whatever. I saw this not too long. Okay, so I didn't apply it very well. I didn't apply it very well. Okay, so but there's a group by function. So the group by will do the kind of thing that the SUMIF does automatically. Very automatic. It's just easy life for you. Easy life. So what you do is you say equal sign group by. But like I said, it's not everybody that have group by. So if you type equal sign group by and you can't find it, gets. So it's an upgrade you need. Okay. But the group by is quite interesting function. So all I just did was, all you just need is the function, and it will go and find the row, the amount, and the kind of function you want to use. And then it will sum based on the group. What I'm getting here is just exactly what I used SUMIF to do. So one thing about me is that even if I have not used a function before, just by looking at the requirements, I can easily dictate what they want. They said row fields. I provided the row fields. Values, I provided value. Then the function, I gave them the function. And then they gave me my answer. So it's the same thing as saying equal sign group by. So I select my row field. Then it's asking me for the values. I provide the values. And if I have named them, so this is where name comes in also. So if I have named them, I'll just provide the name. And then the function. And this one does not need, what do you call it, absolute reference. No need. There's no need to provide any absolute reference. Just, you get your answer. So that's just by the way, it's just to show you that there's another thing that is going on now. So that is pivot table we are going to. So if you have a group by like my own, you can give me a yes. Well, like I said, it's not everybody that has it, okay? So it's your version, okay? Don't feel bad, it's your version. Oh, yes, Mr. Akin, beautiful. Yes, 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 yes. Ah, wow, so I have plenty of people. So were you able to try it? So did it work for you? It's just quite simple, just, oh, yes, yes, wow. So I have a lot of people that are on the same page with me. Lovely, lovely. So for those who don't have, ah, wow, beautiful, beautiful. So that's another, so I'm just telling you that Excel keeps making things easy for us by the day. Okay, so somebody may say, why did we have to go through that difficult one when we know that there are simple ones and everything has advantage. Some if, the way you use some if, there are some levels you get to when you start using some if for some of your tasks. Group by is not going to be able to do it. Okay, so but if it's just as simple as what we've just done, why not? Group by will solve it. Okay, we'll solve it. Look inside your range and give you your response. Okay. So sorry, I will want to take like 5 minutes to get to the restroom. So just maybe 3 or 5 minutes. So, Madam Yemisi, I hope you are there. Just I want to take little time, get to the restroom and ease myself.
All right, sir, that's fine. We can also take a stretch while he also goes to the restroom. We can take a 5-minute stretch break, and we'll be back by 10:40. So please use this as an opportunity to also stretch. Once he's back, we continue the class. Thank you.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back, sir.
Thank you so much. All right, so let's continue. Let's go into pivot table. Working with pivot table and chart. So before I visited the restroom, I started by saying that pivot table is a powerful tool that we can use to summarize and get a summarize, analyze, and of course present our very large set of data in a very concise and a way that we can interact with. So, and I also said that it helps us to automatically group, and that was what led to me using a group by. So, but the group by is just a function. It's not pivot table tool. That has nothing to do with pivot table. Okay? So that we don't mix them up. So the group by is just a function. So I was just passing by. So okay, let's look for group by's trouble. So, but the pivot table will do that for you. Will group automatically for you. So that's what I was trying to say. And then it will help you to perform calculations. So you can use the pivot table to summarize summarize, what did I say again? Analyze, and then present, because the whole idea is about data analysis. So the whole idea is about data analysis. So you can summarize, analyze, you can explore, and then also present. Of course, that is where the visualization comes from. Okay, so you can present, and of course, this one works well with large data sets. Okay, and then so of course you can use it to do calculations, analysis, just like what we have above. Okay, so in performing your summary, it gives you access to some functions like count, sum, count, average. So pivot table will also give you access to these functions: max, min, and so on. So I'm just talking about the key features now. Key features. So you can do summarizations, okay, using the sum, to count, the average marks and so on. Pivot table, also part of this thing is grouping. Grouping. So you can use pivot table to organize your data by categories. And such categories can be maybe dates, regions, products, or let me just say product line. Okay, so grouping. So I'm actually trying to just bring out some things that you need to understand about the pivot table and why you are using it, why you should use it. So the key features, summarization, grouping. So you can organize your data by categories, and the categories may be something like regions, dates, product lines. So things like that come to mind. What you can, so you group the data based on maybe dates. You can group the data based on regions, like regions, I mean state, city, country. So you have some data that have those kind of data. I mean, some files or your work that has that kind of information. Data set that have that kind of information, like date, I mean, like city, state, city, or city, state, country. Okay. And that kind of information is very useful. That kind of information is very, very useful, especially if you are a data analyst and you are using a tool like Power BI. Power BI, there's a particular tool that is called Power BI. We use it for business intelligence solution. It's part of the tools that data analysts use. That tool, if you have enough information on region, you will enjoy the kind of results you get. I mean, sometimes when I analyze using Power BI, using regions and state and city and all those things, the map that the Power BI will show me will include the location in the analysis. And so imagine I'm now trying to say a sales from a particular region. The analysis can go straight and even show me the location. It's quite beautiful. So that's why when you are dealing to, I'm also coming back to the kind of information you provide is what will determine the response or the kind of results you get. So if you have too limited information, then you don't get as much as you should. Okay, so grouping. So then another thing that pivot table allows you to do is filtering. Okay, so allows you to filter, allows you to apply filters to view specific segments of your data. Okay. And then, of course, beautiful thing is that you can put slicer. To filter or the same thing, slice your data into specific segments. Okay. So that's some of the key features that you are looking forward to, or that you should be looking forward to in pivot table. And then, of course, pivot table can help you in your work area, like your sales. Like I said, this is a very good tool for people who manage sales. Inventory management, a very good one. Financial reporting, this is also a very good tool. Then maybe you are trying to create customer segmentations. Okay, so most organizations are, well, maybe because I do data analysis also at international level, and it has exposed me to some of the things that we see that we don't see here in Nigeria. And that is customer segmentation. So you create data that groups your customer by demographic, their purchase history, their buying behavior. All those information are always very, very important. So if you add it to your data, I mean, your analysis becomes very robust because you get to understand your customers better. So in this part of our world, people sit down in a meeting and say, why are we not selling? They say, maybe because Dangote is now doing this. Maybe because Samuel, you did not carry the tanker on time. And you know that boy that they call this thing. So all those assumptions don't really work for it. We don't get the right results. But when you have data and you look into the data, you can have customer segmentation data, for instance, and the analyst can bring it into the meeting. And then you can now see the demographics, the purchase history, the buying behavior, the customer's response time, and all those stuff. Some of the factors, natural factors, are recorded also. Environmental situations can also be included. And then going forward, you can now tell, oh, okay, these customers will probably prefer to buy from so instead of here because of this. Then that may now inform your decision and say, you know, those days when we were in secondary school, we did location and localization of industries. I know some people have forgotten. Did location and localization of industries, and factors for locating industries were part of the things we did. And the only reason why some of us read those books was just to pass exam. So we will put it in our head, blah, 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 just do exam and walk away. But those things were vital information that affects why businesses are not thriving today. So if a business detects from its data that location is the issue, then they put a plant. So no assumption is no longer there. It is data that is working. So this is another high level of information training that I'm giving to us. But let me just limit it to that because there's a lot in this area that we give when it comes to training organization on how to make decision-making process based on data-driven decision-making process, actually. So that's the kind of course. Now, so pivot table is a very powerful tool because it also helps us to do things like part of the things that you can do, project tracking. You can track projects, you can track milestones, you can track them by status, you can track them by teams, you can track them by timeline. Okay, by timeline. So some of those information are very good. So then pivot table comes with charts. Comes with charts, which we call pivot charts. So that's the visualization also, the other aspect of it. Okay, so I'm going to push this information to the right side. So in case when you get the file, you are looking for it, it's on the right side, because I want to use this place to do other things. Okay, so the notes that I typed is on the right side here. Okay, so we are going to start looking at the pivot table now. So where do I find the pivot table tool? You find it in the Insert tab, just beside the table tool that we did the other time. Insert pivot table. But before you click it, you make sure that your cursor is within your range. Now, the beautiful thing is that you can also use this one, this table that we did the other time. The table, you can use this to do pivot table also. Why not? And it's even it makes it much easier. And pivot table can work with range also. Can work with, maybe you convert your range to table and then use it for pivot table tasks. Or you use your range directly. So you can work it that way. So the pivot table is so powerful that I mean it can work with both table and range. Okay, so you make sure that your cursor is positioned within the range. Then you will now click pivot table. All right. So because my cursor is positioned, within the range, then I have this already highlighted. Then the next option says choose where you want your pivot table to be placed. So I want it in the existing worksheet. So I'll click existing worksheet. But I also need to indicate the location within the worksheet. So I'll just click inside this location and click the cell where I want to place my results. And then I'll click OK. So the moment I click OK, a pivot table field option will appear. Okay. Please, a minute. I'm with you, just a minute. I'm just trying to respond to something. I'm with you, a minute, please. Okay, so back to our task. So we have created the pivot table. A pivot table field option has appeared, showing us on the right side all the fields.
Excuse, sir.
Yes, sir.
Can you recap from insert a pivot table?
Okay, so you click inside your
Insights.
you click inside your data. You make sure your cursor is within your range. Go to insert, then go to pivot table. Then your range will be automatically selected. Then you will choose existing worksheet. Then location. Inside this location box, you will click the cell where you want Excel to place your results. And then once you click the cell, it will appear. Then you click. That's all. So once you click OK, you will be on the same page with us.
Sorry, sir. The pivot table range. How do you get that one?
So if you put your cursor within your range of data, your cursor must be where that data, this data that I selected, your cursor must be somewhere within it. Then you will go to insert. You click pivot table. So you will see this dialog box that will appear is showing table/range. That is your range. Then the next thing is you move down and you click existing worksheets. So once your cursor is not within the data, no range will appear. I don't know if that is taken.
So do you say, do you now click OK after you put the existing worksheet? What do you do next, sir?
After you click existing worksheet, there's a section that says location. Did you see?
Yes.
Click inside that location and then click any cell, any empty cell in your worksheet.
Hope I can go below the table now, empty.
Just beside it, not
okay, beside it, okay. Okay.
And then you click OK.
That is enter. Okay.
No,
okay.
You click.
Okay. Yes, I've done it. Okay. Yes.
So is it well taken now?
Yes, a pivot table. To build the report, choose field from the pivot table field. I don't know what came on chart 2. To build the pivot chart, choose field from the pivot chart field. I don't know. That's what came out.
So you will see that on the right side, there is a table field option. I want to be sure that I forgot. Is it Mr. Akin or somebody that asked the
Right, I'm seeing field list, field bottom.
The first person that asked question? Are you clear with it now? Is it working?
Not all that clear.
Okay.
The existing fields, the existing worksheet.
Okay, so where are you?
Location.
Yes. Click inside location and then click any empty cell beside your range of data.
Empty cell.
Beside your data.
Beside my data.
Or don't you have what I have on my screen? Do you have the other ID product category from 1 to 214? All this information.
Yes, I have it.
If your cursor is inside it, your cursor must be positioned inside it before you click the pivot table option. Your cursor must be inside here. Your cursor.
Okay.
Must,
Okay.
Then you will now click. Then you will now click pivot table. Then that means it will select your range for you automatically. Then you will now select existing sheet.
Let me go back. Listing sheet, okay. Location,
What is location?
then source.
No, no, no.
Okay.
Are you in the location?
Yes.
Then you will now click any cell on the right side of the data.
I have.
Then you click OK.
No, I didn't get it. Continue, share. Later I will use the audio.
Okay.
The tape.
I've clicked OK.
Okay. So we have the field pivot table fields on the what do you call it, on the right side.
Yes, field lists are field buttons.
Exactly. And then we have some 4 boxes at the bottom. 4. We have filter, column, row, values.
That
So
is it under the field button?
below the field, the pivot table fields, we have drag fields between areas below. We have filter, columns, rows, and value.
Under the field buttons, right?
So please look at my screen. So I will choose products here, and then it will appear here.
Okay.
I will check amount, and then it will appear under values. So you will see that automatically I've been able to create the summary based on product. So I can call this one sales by product. Okay. So we are going to do another one. And so that one will also make us to repeat what we have done again. Because the pivot table is just straightforward. You keep doing the same thing, but for different perspective of the reporting, just for different this. So this time, we'll position our cursor again inside the range of data. Then we go to insert. Go to insert. We go to pivot table. And then the dialog box will appear showing table range already selected. Then we'll click existing worksheet. Then we will click inside this box that is called location. Then I will now take my mouse and click a cell on the worksheet. So the cell that I click is H12 in my own, is cell H12. So when I click cell H12, I can now click OK. Then this will appear. So what I want to do this time is country and amount. So when I click country, it automatically places it inside the row area. And it's now giving me a report based on sales by country. So anytime your cursor goes outside the pivot table, the table field option will go off. Like if you notice, once I click outside the table field option on the right side goes off. But if I go back inside any of the pivot table, then it appears again. So if I don't want to put my result on existing field, I can put it on a new, and that one is simpler. So all you just need to do is go back to your range of data, go to Insert, click Pivot Table, leave it on New Worksheets, and then you click OK. So it will create a new worksheet. It will create a new worksheet. You can now do what you want to do. Maybe you want to product amount, and then if you like, you can put the chart beside it. So your pivot table design. So in this one now, I am doing the pivot table in a different sheet. I'm placing it in a different worksheet. And for this also, I can go to Pivot Table Analyze. That is, once I click inside the pivot table, I can have an additional tab showing, requiring me to do something. So I can insert slicer and choose product and click OK. Then the slicer can be placed beside it. I can also click inside it, go to Pivot Table Analyze. If I'm dealing with dates, there's an option for timeline, but since I'm not dealing with dates, then I don't need to put, because this is not dates. This analysis is not based on dates, so I don't need timeline. So, but I can also go to chart, insert, and then under that chart, I can put a pivot chart. So this time I'm not selecting ordinary charts. I'm selecting pivot charts. You can see it on the right side of the chart section. So pivot charts, I'll select that and put it by the side. Now, the difference between the pivot chart and ordinary chart is that the pivot chart is dynamic in the sense that you can filter from the charts directly. You can say, okay, I want to see only 3 products, and it will filter. And you can also use the slicer to control your results. So this now becomes an interactive, you can use a multiple selection. This now becomes an interactive environment. That's your visualization now. Your interactive environment where you can slice, visualize, and do live reporting, showing whatever you are doing. And that's because I placed this in a separate worksheet. So if you select new worksheet option at the point of creating your pivot table, you can have it in a separate worksheet. So I'll go back to the source data again and click inside the data. Go to insert. Go to pivot table. So leave it on new worksheet and then click OK. So this time I'll be doing products, then country. I will drag it to column area. Like I said, I have 4 areas. I have filter, I have column, I have row, I have values. So I use my mouse to drag country to column, because if I just check it, it will appear under row here. Then drag amount to values. So I have products by country. So the table that I have now is called products by country. So this one is because I chose product and I drag it to row, country to column area, amount to value. I can also insert a chart for this, because this particular one has 2 observations. I should use a column chart. So there are 2 series of information. There is the product and there is the country. So each of the products, the chart is plotting by country for each of the products. And why not? We can have slicer for this also and put it by the side. Okay. Any questions so far before I continue on this? So before we do more examples.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I have 2 questions.
Okay.
The first one is my pivot tables are not is not indicating the naira symbol along with the figures.
Okay. But do you have Naira in the main in the source data?
Yes.
Why is it not? It should appear. Maybe the formatting, but you can always format it anyway. But you can always format it. You can highlight and then go to your number formatting, and then currency, and then choose your symbol, and then look for Naira, and then apply. Naira will always be Hausa, anyone you choose, Edo, Hausa, Igbo, or Yoruba. Anyone you choose is Naira, Kanuri. So you can always format your pivot table, but I mean, if the formatting is not showing, it means something has changed the formatting.
Okay, then secondly, how do I, like, in the latest worksheet, how do I the heading that you added to the table, that's the product by country sales?
Yes.
How do you center it? Because I typed it in the top cell, I wanted to drag it so it to be centralized like yours, but it's not. I can't do that.
Okay, so what I did was I selected from here from B to H. I highlighted from B to H. Then I came to merge and center.
Okay.
So after merge and center, then I typed and then increased the font to 18. So you can select from one end to the end, merge and center, then just type, it will be centered. But make sure that your selection covers the size of your table so that it will be well set.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Any other question before I move on?
So please, there's this one you drag on the second table by country. That's that one dragging you made. Where you clicked on the country, you drag the decision from the right hand side. That is it.
This one. Yeah.
No, before you get to this place, there's a place ahead. There was something you drag within country and the filter column and carry value sum. And under that value is under sum of amount. That's one dragging you made.
Okay, so I dragged I think it was here I did the dragging. So I clicked on country.
Yes.
I dragged it to column.
Okay.
Yeah. So you see these 4 boxes, this filter, column, row, and value. So I click on country like this, and I drag it to this place to column, and I drop it.
Okay.
So that's the dragging.
So that was what formed the table, all of them balanced.
Yeah, so I put product on rows, I put country on columns, I put amount on value. You get it now. So any other one? Okay, so let's create another example. So we have seen product by sales by products. So let's now do sales by country separately, although we did them here. But if you don't want them beside your original table, you can send them to another worksheet. So I'll do for country now. I'll go to Insert, Pivot Table, New Worksheet, click OK. So this time, it will be country and then amount. So I'll check country, I'll check amount. So with this, I can create its own chart, insert, pie chart. I can also put its own slicer under the pivot table analyze. Put the slicer, select country, click OK. The slicer will be by the side. So I can slice. I can check which part do I want to visualize. So I can easily interact. And if I like, I can create a kind of a dashboard where I have country at the top, products there, and every other thing, and their chart can line up everywhere. So it depends on your choice and arrangement. Go to okay. So this is by country. Then I can also go back to the table. Go back to the table. And then insert, pivot table, new worksheet. Okay. So I'm going to say product. Then I will drag date to column. No. I will put product. Let me take products to column. I'll put date under row. And then amount in value. So as it is now, I can show my reports based on date. If I remove the product from column, then this is what I'm going to get. I will get only sales by date. But if I want to see the product along, or maybe the country, then I will put it in the column section. So as such, I'm able to see the product sales by each of the dates. So I'll call this one now. One beautiful thing about pivot table is that each of your results, you can double click inside and it will show you a table, the detail of what you clicked on. So what did I double click? I actually double clicked Apple. So inside the sales by product table, inside the sales by product table, I wanted to drill down. So I want to drill down. I want to see the details of this. So it's like you are making a report and the executive is saying, can I see the data that brought about this? How did you get bananas 340,000? Can I see the data? You say, okay. You just double click on the 340,000 and then it shows you the data. You say, okay, so this is all the banana sales. These are the dates and these are the amounts. And it's a table. So what it means is that because it's a table, you can go to your table design and activate your total row. And then you can quickly check the sum. And then you will see 340,295. Then it goes back to the original table, 340,295. Okay, now we understand. So because of the drill down, it's now able to reveal the details of the transaction in a table format. The table was not created by me. It's just as soon as you double click on what you want to drill, it will come out in a table form. So we have seen sales by dates also. And why not? You can create a chart for this too. And create, insert, chart. Maybe I want to choose a hierarchy chart, but I'm not sure whether this one will. Yes. So it says you can't create this chart type with data inside the pivot table. Exactly. Exactly. Because this is not the type. So some of these other charts that you are looking at have their type of data, especially when you are doing financial analysis. For instance, this waterfall is for something like income statement and all those stuff in your accounting. Okay. So this one is for statistical analysis. This is called statistical chart, statistic chart. So if you are doing statistical analysis, you need this type of chart. And then the bubble chart or the scatter diagram. Okay, so this is also for analysis that shows relationship between sales of between sets of values. So this is for analysis based on relationship. So some of this is the reason why I'm not touching them is because you need to go into some special knowledge, special area of knowledge before you can even understand what the chart is used for. So it's not just about choosing a chart and just, but all these charts, the column, so whether it is bar or column, fine. They are for your normal day-to-day line charts. Yes, if you want to show relationship between database online, yes, fine. Then pie. So they are enough for your work, for your normal work, unless you now want to go into some statistical analysis, data analytics, financial analysis. That's when you'll be talking about some of these things. Like win-lose, like all these win-lose things is for Forex things, financial analysis, and also Forex information. So how do we begin to go into that? We have to, first of all, do some Forex analysis and blah, blah. So, but these common ones are good. Then for this type of data observation, it is good that you use a column chart. So a pie chart will be for a single series. That is something like sales by product, sales by country. Just a single series. But once it begins to go into multiple series, it should be a column chart. So don't go and pick a line chart and say you want to use it for this type of chart. This chart is not really showing relationship. So there's no need for, unless you want to also show trend. Why not? You can also use it for trend analysis and so. Okay. So we have seen putting the slides out there. We have seen the analysis done by dates, by the country, based on the amount and the product. So that's any question on that? Questions? Questions? No response?
From my side, no question. For me, I'm okay. Yeah, I did this and I got it here.
YouTube. Okay. Any other comment? Okay, so for me, I have there's no question. I've fully exhausted everything I want to show us, unless you now have general questions. Maybe some of the challenges that you're having in Excel in your office, you can bring them up. But I'm done with everything I want to show us, and I've added more information also, expanded here and there. So I think we are good. I'm good. And I think what you need to do is go and spend time to practice, get the recorded, that's recorded video should be a big treasure in your hand. I mean, make sure you have it so that that will be your reference note. Can always go back to it and then look at a particular topic, watch it over and over and over and over. Say, download it, save it into a folder inside your Excel folder so that you can always use it. All right, so what is saying anything?
Yes, good morning, Mr. Abraham.
Good morning.
Yes, this is Tamama.
All right. Nice hearing your voice.
Thank you. Okay, I have a question.
Okay.
Looking at this spreadsheet on the screen, that amount column
Okay.
where we have the Naira signs in front of the figures.
Yes.
Is there a way that I can put that Naira sign where I have that amount that is up?
Okay.
Just
Good.
to put that Naira sign while the other figures will come under.
Good question. You know, because what Excel does is apply currency. Usually, if you will notice that it's usually dollar.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's the same approach that it is using for the Naira. So if you now want to put it at the top, I mean, you have to do some customization yourself. And one of it would be maybe to just put a 0, maybe, and then format it as a Naira. And then, so if it appears like this, then you can put it at the top.
Okay.
And so you can put it at the top of your, so maybe something like this. So what I did was just put a 0 value, and then so something like 0 Naira, and then I can add, yes.
It's all right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Yes, good question. Okay. So any other one? Any other question? So we have an evaluation form that has been dropped in the comment section.
So please, this is a sum if.
Yes.
Sum if.
Okay.
Want you to treat it again, has it a big place?
Okay, so I will have said go and watch the video because everything is well explained there. And then I've done the summit over and over along in all the lessons that I've done. In fact, I've repeated summit twice today. So, but I will just brush it by. So the sum is sum value based on criteria. So what we have done is put equal sign sum is. Then you have range. You highlight cell B, B2 down to B214. That's your range. Your criteria is product. Criteria is the product, and your summary is D2 to D214. So once you press enter, you get your answer. So, but if you need the details step by step, I advise you watch the video, and you will get all the details of all these things. I've repeated them, even in working with names. I repeated it. And then under counting summary is there as a topic fully treated. So you can watch that video over and over so that you can gain a better understanding. Because one thing I know is that even if I explain it to you in a rush, you still probably skip the information within a short time. So, but for deeper comprehension, I will say refer to the video, watch over and over. Repeat me over and over. That is replay me, replay me. Until you become a master in it. Then maybe me and you will now come and do competition. And then see who will win. Okay, so thanks for that. So any other, general things that you do in Excel in Office that you probably have challenge, just bring it up. This session is just to help us for especially Excel users. Anytime I'm trying to do this, I have this kind of challenge and blah, blah, blah. So like somebody asked about circular reference and I was able to clear it. And of course, And the person said, oh, I'm very clear with it now. So something like that will help you to understand why some things happen. So except you don't interact with Excel, then you may not really have much challenge. Okay.
Good day, sir.
All right. Thank you. Madam
In
Terry.
our first class, you made mention of two terms, consolidation and X lookup. But so
Okay.
far, so good. We have not talked about that. Is the X lookup the same as the horizontal?
Vertical. It's just the same with vertical. So
Okay,
I
the X lookup
provided it
is the same.
like a VLOOKUP. So if you check the files that I shared with you, the files that I shared with
The first sheet in that file.
No. There are some files that I shared with you on day 2. No, we are talking about XLOOKUP now.
Yes, sir.
I shared some files with you on the day 2, which must have been sent to you. There is an XLOOKUP example there. But let me just explain why you need XLOOKUP. So there are some there is an XLOOKUP example there. But it's just for me to explain why you need it. Okay, then I will also use that example to show you. So if you can open that file, the file is called XLOOKUP. The file is named XLOOKUP. Is part of the file that I shared with us. It's named XLOOKUP. So now, let me try and share that file to show you. So it's this file I'm talking about. This particular file that is on your screen is the one I'm talking about. Now, VLOOKUP looks up value for you to the left. That is vertical lookup, but to the left. So what it means is that your lookup value must be on the left, must be the leftmost. Must be the leftmost. For instance, this table, we have 2 tables. We are asked to extract, we have the employees' names, and we are asked to extract their IDs. The main table shows employee ID, departments, and employee names. But the employee name is not on the left side of the table. So if I try to use VLOOKUP for this, it's not going to work because VLOOKUP looks to the left. So I'm just trying to explain why we need XLOOKUP. So now, if I say lookup value is this name, my table array, I make selection of this, this table. That's my table array. My index number is 1 because it is the ID that I want to extract. My range lookup is 0 because it's exact match. Then I put enter. It shows NA. And why am I having this result? It's because my lookup value is on the right side of the table, but it's supposed to be on the left side. So if I must use VLOOKUP, then I have to rearrange this table in such a way that this one will come after employees' names. But in a situation whereby I don't want to rearrange the table, that is where the X lookup now becomes useful. So the X lookup will now say equal sign. So I'll delete all these errors now. I'll delete all these errors. Then I will say equal sign X look up, and then my lookup value will be the employee's name. Then it says lookup array. So my lookup array now is, where am I looking into? Of course, I'm looking into the employees column. So I'll go and highlight it. That's my lookup array. That's where I'm looking for. Then the next thing, it says return array. What am I returning? What do I want to display? I will say, well, it is the employee ID that I want to display. That's my return array. So I'll close the bracket and press enter. So it shows me that, because now, even though the lookup value is on the right side, but with X lookup, I can look both left and right. That's what it means. I can work with any value, maybe it is right or left, but with VLOOKUP, it must be on the left. My lookup value must be on the left side, must be where the employee ID is. So that's why for this one now, it is VLOOKUP that can do this very well. And then XLOOKUP too. But if I'm now saying, employee ID is what I want to extract, my lookup value is employee, then there's a problem. That is the work of XLOOKUP. So I will make these ones absolute reference. So I have to make them absolute reference. And then I can now copy down. Then I will have my results. So that's for my X lookup. That's for my X lookup. So the difference, so it's doing the same thing that VLOOKUP is doing, but in a situation where the VLOOKUP, because VLOOKUP looks at numbers lookup value to the left side of the main sheet. Okay, but the employee that we are trying to work on is on the right side, and the employee is now our lookup value. So your lookup value must be on the left side of the main table, not on the right side. So if it is employee ID that we have here now, and we are extracting names, then VLOOKUP will work. But if you must use VLOOKUP, then you will transfer this employee ID to the front here. This employee name to become the first one. Then you can use VLOOKUP. So that's the difference. I hope you got that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So for consolidation, the files that we will use, the file we will use, that's the issue. Let me see if I can just get a sample of a file and share on the chat session and then use it. Okay. Consolidates. Consolidate. Okay, so I'm sharing, let me say I've sent, okay. I've sent a file into the chat session. Data consolidation practice file. So you can open it. Can open it so that we can use it for so now to consolidate means to bring together. So data consolidation tool is used to merge merge regional departmental reports and all those things into one, especially when you have them from various regions, or like my examples here is talking about 4 divisions. And I want to add all these values together into one sheet. Add them together into a single worksheet. Add them together into a single sheet. So I'll create an additional worksheet and I will call it the consolidated. So I create an additional worksheet and I call it consolidates. Sorry, a minute, I have a call, sorry. Okay, so I want to bring them into a single sheet. That is, I want to consolidate the 4 into a single sheet. So the first thing you must do is to, hello, good morning. Okay. File not opening on your PC. Well, I think maybe somebody else can pick the file download and share to you via email. So I've created the additional worksheets. Then I will now consolidate here in the worksheet that I added. So, and how do I do that? I'll go to Data tab. Then I will select Consolidate. So a dialog box will appear. A dialog box will appear. Then the function is sum, is fine. So I'll leave the function as sum. That's the first thing. The second thing in dialog box is reference. So reference is saying that I should go and reference each of the worksheets one by one. So I will start with European. I will highlight all my range from items to total, item to total. Then in the dialog box, I have a button that says Add. I will click the Add button. Then I will go to, right from there, without doing any other thing, I'll just go to Australia, highlight, or if it is highlighted, I will just click Add. Go to Canadian. Because it's within the same range, I'll just click Add. Go to USA worksheet, click on USA worksheet. Because it's within the same range, just click Add. Then there are some boxes, there are some, this thing at the bottom here, I'll choose top row, left column, and then create link to source data. So this one is to link me to all these 4 data that are sourced, that I use as my source. So I'll click OK, and then I will have the addition of all these 4 tables in a single table. That is data consolidation.
Hello, sir. Please, can we click on each of those sheets so that we can see the difference?
Okay. So in European, we have bonnet in quarter 1 is 500 plus bonnet quarter 1 Australia 400, that's 900. 900 plus 700, that is 18. 18 plus
16.
Huh?
900 plus 700 should be 16.
Okay, let me check again. 500 plus 400, 900 plus 700, 16 plus 500, that's 21. So that's why we have 21 here. So that's what has happened to every other.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Okay, so can it also do a subdivision? Can it also display the individual countries separately in the same table, maybe like a subdivision of each cell or something?
Is it like this?
Yes.
So that's why we applied that checkbox that said create a link to source data. So once you have it, then you can have a breakdown of each of them. Okay, the question that I'm seeing here, is there any function? So the slicer that you put in your pivot table works with your chart also. So what it means is that you can slice the chart too with that same slicer. So as you are using the slicer on your pivot table, it's automatically applies to the chart. It follows. Once the slicer is there, it's both for your chart and then for your, so like this slicer now, as I'm clicking this slicer, it's also slicing the chart on the right side. I have selected only 4 products. The chart is also showing only 4 products. So the slicer works for both the charts and the pivot table. I hope that's what you are asking, Mr. or Madam Temitayo. I'm just showing you the example on the screen. Okay. Oh, sorry. I'm not sharing the screen I showed you. Oh, I'm sorry about that. Oh my God. That means I was just doing my own thing and thinking that you are seeing it. Yeah. Okay. So this is the example on the screen. So this is what I mean. Look at the chart on this side. Look at the pivot table on this side. Look at the slicer here. So as I slice, the chart is also responding to the slicer. The chart is also responding to whatever. As the table is both the table and the chart. Both of them are responding to whatever is going on. So you can always slice both the chart and the DC. So for the consolidation, all right, I shared a worksheet in the chart session, and I said you can use it to follow. So I have these 4 divisions, and I created an additional worksheet. So I used the worksheet to consolidate this, that's to merge them into one result. So, and I went to Data tab and then chose.
We're not seeing the screen, sir.
Oh my God. So I shared this file in the chat session. So I said we'll create, we are merging these 4 together. So we have to create an additional worksheet for the consolidation. Then I clicked where I want it to be placed. Then I went to Data tab, and then I clicked Consolidate. So a dialog box appears for my consolidation. So I have different functions that I can use, but I'm using some because I'm adding them together. Then under reference, reference means I should go and reference each of these sheets one by one. So once you click inside the reference box, you go to European, you use your mouse to highlight to select the entire range from item to total. Then you will come to the dialog box. On the left side, you will see a button that is called Add, ADD. You click, you have added that reference. Then you don't need to do any other thing than just go to the next worksheet, which is Australia, then click Add. And this is happening because everything falls within the same range. Go to Canadian, click Add. Go to USA, click Add. The last step is to now check these buttons at the bottom. Top row, that is to show the top row, to show, because sometimes you may want to show only the figures and not the names. But in my case, I want to show both the titles and the labels and the calculation. Then this one is to create a link to each of the source data, European, Australian, and blah, blah, blah. Then I click OK. Then I got this result. Yes, sir. Ask a question. Please, ask a question. Prince Igodalo, ask a question.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay, good afternoon.
Good
A
afternoon.
quick one. Based on this consolidation, let's assume that European has maybe 10 products.
Yes.
Australia has 8 products. Canadian and US have 6 products.
Yes.
And there are 4 products on each of these that I want to highlight only to consolidate. How do we capture such?
Okay, now, you have asked a very, very good question, a very intelligent question. But let me just first of all answer from one angle, then I come to your angle. First, if you highlight all of them, one has 10, one has 7, others have 6. You will highlight all of them like that. But your final result is going to be 10 products. It's only that those who don't have reports on other products will not be added because they don't have. But if it is 4 products, then you have to, because let's say the products are not arranged in the same order. Because now if you say 4 products, maybe what you have in mind is that it's only bonnet and funnel you want to add here, and you want to add it with okay, let me say, well, logically, the 4 products should be the same all through. That's one. But it means you have to be arranged together, and it means it's only 4. You'll be highlighting as you go. When you are selecting your reference, it's only 4. So what it means is that they have to be arranged in such a way that the 4 are together. But because if they are splitted apart, it's not going to be very palatable, not going to be very okay. So it's only the 4 you select. That's what it means. But if you have 10 in one and you selected the 10, the 7, the 6, and the 6, your final result will show 10 products. But you only add the ones that others have. Good question. Very good question. Okay, any other one? Any other question? So any general challenge in Excel? And bring it up. So I've seen some people going for meetings, taking permission to step out. Don't forget that we have been told that we're going to have a group photograph. So please don't leave. Maybe Mr. Banugo should have left his screen on or something. Okay, but his video will not be on. All right. So please share the consolidation file with
Mr.
other.
Abraham.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sorry, I'm not taking us back. I was doing some work and I was trying to remember a shortcut you showed. You know, the default currency is dollar. There was somewhere you went to where we saw Nigerian currency, Do Yoruba and other. Can you please quickly show that shortcut again? So sorry.
Okay, so what I did was you click on the values you want to apply the currency to. You go to the home, then under the number formatting, you expand the number format dialog box. Then you will choose currency. Then there's a section here. Oh, sorry, I'm not sharing.
We're not seeing your screen. We're not seeing it.
Okay, so you highlight your data, then you go to Home tab, then where you have the number format, you expand it. This is a format cell, then you pick currency. Then under symbol, where you have symbol, you will now search for Naira. You will see Hausa, Edo, or blah, blah. Just click on any of them. Click OK, and you are good. It will show Naira sign.
Thank you very much.
Welcome. Okay, so you have an evaluation form to fill there. Fill it, submit. I think it's a pivot table. I mean, okay, I think it's I want to say I'm responding to another person's message. I think it's a Google form. So you fill it, then suppose say share the pivot table file here again. Okay. The pivot table file. Let me look for this. Pivot table. Oh, thank you, Madam. Let me see. Thank you. I was trying to share mine, but because it's opened, it said I couldn't share it. Okay. So fill the Google form. So I'm done. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody. It's been a wonderful time together. So I hand over to Madam Oluwayemis.
Mr. Abraham.
Yes, ma'am.
Madam Chairman, we can't hear you. You're muted.
Yes, I don't need, because of my not being available, to disrupt the beautiful class that have been well constructed. Anyways, I think I'll get somebody to, or with the recording, I can follow suit. Mr. Mohammed, Abraham, I'm so sorry. Thank you. I can't take you back. God bless you.
All right.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much. Please, we can use the reactions, comments in the chat box to appreciate Mr. Abraham. if you've learned a lot from him in the last 3 days. Thank you, sir. It's been a wonderful session. You can please start.